Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Tuesday night edition of Into the Night with me, your host Sean Kelly. Remember, tonight is only an hour show, an hour-long show, because we got the utmost famous C.L. Thomas with her podcast, the Gateway podcast, coming on right after mine. So honestly, when you're done with mine, stick around and go jump on CL's show, okay? Because she has a very, very good guest. My brother from another mother, Mr. Don Yazzie. And we're going to start, and they're going to have a conversation about a witch, circle, doll, whatever it is. I don't know. Yes. And Michelle, hello. Good to see you. Heidi, much love from Pittsburgh. Squatsman, Tommy Boy, good to see you, man. Everyone's popping in tonight. I'm really happy for this. So I want to thank UPRN Talk Radio 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans for allowing me to give you two shows a week, Sunday night, 8:10 to 10:10 p.m., and Tuesday nights, 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. And I just want to recap about the Sunday show, my first 2-hour show. It was awesome. You know, we had a lot of people come in, a lot of people listen to the show, and we'll hopefully get it out there to where, you know, we get all those people watching that show again. I was just, I'm just happy. I was really, really happy when I saw the numbers, to be honest with you. And I know it's going to really, really work out. Lisa Kirk, how are you? How are you? Good to see you. Yes. And so hopefully down the road, like my Sunday shows would be like round table stuff with different paranormal groups. Hey, Kara, good to see you. You know, paranormal people, you know, some Bigfoot people, and you know, because 2 hours actually gives me the time to actually do a very, very good show like that, you know. And so that's where I'm going with it. So I don't know, how's everybody out there today? We're in for a nasty storm coming in, a nasty storm tonight, and it's a lot of rain, a lot of wind, a lot of craziness going around tonight through the weather. And speaking of the weather, the last 2 days, it has been very beautiful here in Pittsburgh. It's in the 70s, sun shining, a nice little crisp wind blowing. And hey, Patsy, good to see you. And so I'm just looking forward to it. It has been stressful since I got my new job, you know, being the boss of the seafood. You know, I'm learning a lot more about fish. I'm learning a lot more about patience. The whole 9 yards. But tonight, you know, my show tonight It's an interesting one, and I'm going to be totally along and be honest with you. That Ted Pauls, I said hello, Pauls Malone. Um, oh, you got something going on too, Squash Man. Okay, everybody just stay safe, buckle up, and just enjoy. But tonight, my dear friend Lisa, because I really was stumped. I was stumped with the topic for tonight because I really wasn't sure. And my dear friend Lisa, she said, "Why don't you just talk about dreams and deja vu and stuff like that?" And I'm thinking, yeah, why not? But the more I journeyed, the more I looked into it, there is so much stuff on dreams. Honest to gosh. I mean, I'm going to honestly have a 2 hour show about it. So basically, what I'm going to do tonight is just try to find out a little bit about the dream and a little bit of, deja vu's and stuff like that. But I will promise you this. I promise you this, that I'm going to look for a person who will be happy to come on and who studies dreams. Okay. That would be so great. That thought crossed my mind. But without further ado, let's get on to the show. So, why do we dream? Why do we dream? Do we dream of winning the lottery? Do we dream about going on that beautiful vacation? Do we dream about winning the lottery? What's all the dreaming about? Why do we dream? And to me, you know, dreaming, you get answers. You get answers from your dreams, and sometimes you don't get the answers. What is mind-boggling is that you had the dream, you saw it in your dream, but you could never figure out what the message was in the dream. Now, from what I understand and what I have read up on dreams, is that when you dream, okay, you see something and it's very viable to you and your what's going on in your life. Oh, you're welcome. Hey, Eugenio, good to see you, my friend. Oh, wow, buddy. Mark Eddy says, does UPRN count as a strong attachment? Could be. Could be, Mark. Possibility. I don't know. But so you're there sleeping, and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose in your dreams. And it's like, wow. And you're sitting it's like that you're standing on your tiptoes and you're ready to go at it. Like, oh, wow, you're watching this thing, come in with you, like start showing you what's going on. Well, could it be because you're stressed out during that day? Could it be that you have so much stuff going on in your life that when you go to sleep, you need to, it just comes up, your so-called subconscious mind. And you know how I feel about subconscious minds. I don't believe in subconscious. I really don't. Only the scientists do. And probably the people who study dreams and stuff like that do. But for me, there is none. Hey, Scouts, good to see you. And if it isn't your subconscious, it's not all the information that was going on with you. They care and was not going, sure you had a rough day, but Why would you want to take it with you at night? I don't know. But so, of course, I got my trusty AI here. Okay. And why do we dream? The brain processes, organizes, and transfers information from short term to long term memory, often leading to dream content that reflects recent memories, events, and feelings. Denise says, in general, dreams are about your day or something on your mind, but I think there's more types of dreams. That's pretty possible, Denise. Very possible. There's a lot of scary dreams out there too, nightmares, all kinds of stuff like that. But what? How do you go by organizing your dreams? Seriously, how do you organize? Why would you want to organize? What's going on in your life? Tara says, how do you have dreams of demons and wake up with sleep paralysis? But I started medicine for that and then they quit. Kara, I'll tell you what, sleep paralysis, that's what the scientists say. That's what the doctors say and all that. But to me, it's called the old hag theory, sweetie. It's the old hag theory where you have something jumping on your stomach or on your chest and you look up and your eyes are open and you see this big old ugly hag that's sitting on your chest and you can't move, you can't breathe. There's so much fear that you can't move. And that's my opinion on that. Okay, so the old hag theory with that. But I don't know. When I was with Chasing Prophecy, way back then, we used to have people on who were scientists who said it's all sleep paralysis. It has something to do with our brain. But to me, I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I believe that old hag is flying over there waiting to pounce on your chest and knock it up. Is it scary? Hell yeah, it's scary. And how do you get out of it? For me, I just like pray to God. I pray. And then it usually lifts. And then after it goes away, my body's like beat. It's beat. It's hurting and I'm profusely sweating. And I'm trying to catch my breath. But that's to me, with the old hag, that's what it is. But back to what I was talking about. Why would you want to put your short-term memory into a long-term memory file? Because usually, with my experience with the dreaming, okay, I dream it, and then the dream's over. I wake up, and I don't remember what I dreamed. Can anybody answer that for me, please? I don't remember what I dreamed. And they say, when you wake up, when you get done with a dream, you're supposed to wake up right away while it's fresh in your mind, write it on a book, on a little notebook, and then just continue doing that. But I know for me, okay, um, uh, I'm so usually damn tired that I don't even think about getting up to write it down in the book. But I'm sure there are people out there that do that. And I'm sure that they get the answers that they are seeking. Because if you look at dreams, there's a bunch of answers in there for us. But do we do we look at the dreams with our brains? Like, do we have our brain involved in the dream? Like, okay, so this happened to me. I jumped off a cliff and boom, hit my bed real hard, you know. Denise says, do you always wake up to an alarm? I remember my dreams more when I wake up on my own. No, I don't, hon. I don't wake up on an alarm. But I don't know. The way I look at it for me is that maybe I'm not supposed to know what that dream meant. Maybe it was spirit or some other kind of entity out there, and to show me while I'm sleeping, okay, this shit's happening. This is happening. And we'll let you see it when you're sleeping, but you're not going to remember what you dreamed. Does that sound rational, everybody? Eugenio says, I tried starting a dream journal. It became too cringe and corny, and I felt like I was just going off the deep end in fantasy. It became irritating. Thank you for sharing that, Eugenio. And Eugenio just wrote there, um, it's true. So when you're dreaming, they say, well, a lot of it has to do with what happened to you during your daytime. Why would you want to? Why would you want to be a fantasy? But I guess we have no control over our dreams. Patsy says, dreamed of driving on very heavily rutted road. Another time, dreamed I slid off the road and avoided a huge flood. Stress. I knew it was time to leave my job. And that, you got a good point there. And the stuff that when I did my when I did some research on the dreaming, okay, that is true. A lot of people, have a lot of stress at work, and so I guess they put two and two together. That okay, so this is happening to me at work, and I'm dreaming of it at night, and I'm like, okay, maybe there is something there. But for me, I had a dream. I used to, not all the time, but I remember I'm a meat cutter by trade. Okay, and a lot of times I would lay in bed and I would be dreaming that I am cutting pork. Okay, pork chops, pork butt roast, the whole 9 yards. Everything, every cut of meat you can get of on pork. And the thing is, I would be cutting it and wrapping it, putting it out, and then all of a sudden I go back out 5 minutes later and there's no more pork. And then I repeat the cycle again. Cutting the pork, wrapping it, and putting it out, and 5 minutes later, it's gone. And that's a dream. So, yes, but my only problem is I get paid decent money for cutting meat, okay? And I just can't afford to quit my job or leave it. And I know that sounds ridiculous and it sounds like, ooh, there is something wrong with Sean. But there isn't. I need my paycheck. So is there anybody out there that is like heavily on that dreams a lot? That they're trying to find the answer in their dreams when they wake up? I don't know, it's fascinating. How do you know that dreams are not just for what you see during the daytime? Joe Fox, good to see you, sir. So I kind of like I just try not to, and this is for me and for me only. When yes, I do dream, and I have some really really scary ones that I would like to share with you. And they're bad, they're really bad. But my brother Patrick, he had a good question for me. He's not in the room. I don't know if he's in the room or not. But he had a question, and I would like people to answer this if they have any um, answers or have dealt with this before. His question was, can a person actually go into another person's dream and protect them from what is hurting that person. Let me rephrase that. Okay. So the question is, if you know that your friend is having these nightmares or having these bad dreams, okay, can somebody else hop into the dream? That girl says yes. So somebody else could hop into the dream and help protect that person. Kelly says, good evening from the New Hampshire Bigfoot Society. Thank you, Kelly, for coming in. Can somebody actually do that? I think it's possible, yes, absolutely. I guess if you have that strong emotional bond, that strong energy between you and the other person, and the person knows that you're not doing good in your sleep, in your dream, that I'm sure the other dude or dudette would be like, okay, he needs help, she needs help. So you just close your eyes and boom, you jump in and you protect them. Denise McConnell says, years ago, a friend and I had the same dream, and we woke up because we were talking out loud to each other. That's neat. That's crazy. But what is it? Well, that's a good example there, Denise. And she says, and I'll repeat what she says. Years ago, a friend and I had the same dream, and we woke up because we were talking out loud to each other. Interesting. I like that. So it does happen. So someone can jump into somebody else's dream and help them, which I think is like really, really cool. Emotional regulation. Dreams allow the brain to work through emotions and trauma in a safe space, reducing stress and maintaining psychological balance. I don't believe that. How can the dream be in a safe place? Maybe, all right, Patsy, have a good one. That girl says, I am usually cloaked. The person doesn't know it was me. Oh, okay, that's cool. But this emotional regulation, dreams allow the brain to work through emotions and trauma in a safe space, reducing stress and maintaining psychological balance, which I think is a bunch of bullshit. I really do. That's my opinion. Okay. That is definitely my opinion on that. And mental housekeeping. This theory suggests that dreaming is the processing of deleting or decluttering or cleaning up unnecessary or incorrect information, optimizing brain storage. That's bullshit. That's the way I look at it. And these are my opinions when I say this. It's my opinion on that. Maybe it is true. Maybe you are cleaning house. Maybe you're getting rid of all the crap that's going on in your life. And, so all these dreams are coming up. And you're like, I guess you want to call it declassifying and send it to the bin, the delete bin. I don't know. But what I do know is that we are coming up on the bottom of the hour and we are going to take a 2-minute break. And when I come back, we will continue with this. Okay? Hang around, guys, ladies and gents. Let's go right here.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation. Night has come, it's cold and losing my control. The light is gone,
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the second part of Into the Night with me, your host, Sean Kelly. I hope everyone's doing great. I want to thank you, PRN Talk Radio, 105.3 Mississippi, 107.7 New Orleans, for allowing me to give you 2 hours. No, I'm sorry, 3 hours, 2 shows a week. So, Eugenio says, was sleeping on the street a while back, woke up to a drug addict yelling, but my lucid state, I was hearing his words before he even spoke. He then yelled at me to get out of his head. True story. Oh my gosh. I'm going to repeat that, Eugenio, but I'm going to repeat that again. But don't forget that C.L. Thomas, her show, what's her name? What's her show again? The Gateway Podcast. She's having my dear brother from another mother, Mr. Don Yazzie, on tonight. So it's going to be a good show. So after my show tonight, please go on over and check out the Gateway Podcast with CL Thomas. And I'm telling you, tell her I said hello. Eugenio says, was sleeping on the street a while back, woke up to a drug addict yelling, but in my lucid state, I was hearing his words before he even spoke. He then yelled at me to get out of his head. True story. What do you guys think of that? Thank you for sharing that, Eugenia. But, stuff like that, I mean, there is creepiness towards it. Maybe it was a message to Eugenia, who remembered the dreams. But if you remember the dreams, like I was saying earlier, okay, there is a message in all the dreams. Are we meant to see the message? Are we not to see the message? I don't know. So hopefully, no, we know you're not seeking attention, buddy. We're not. No, don't even think that, please, Eugenio. No, not on my show. But I don't know. From other things from why we dream is threat simulation. From an evolutionary perspective, dreams may act as a mechanism to simulate threatening situations and rehearse responses, improving survival skills. That's interesting. But I mean, these people, no one really truly knows why we dream. I don't know. Maybe one day we will. And that's why I would love to get a dream expert on my show on Sunday night so we can actually get some more answers. Let me ask anybody out there in the chat room tonight. Did any of y'all, besides Eugenio and Denise, anybody else remember dreams? Did it scare you? Did you get an answer? Does it bug you that you don't get an answer? I, I mean, there's all kinds of other people. Now, there is random brain activity. Hey, Rob, what's up, buddy? A dream expert would be awesome. Yes, you know it would be, Joe. I think there is so much more to dwell into this dreaming bit to find out the real reasons why. The real reasons why we dream. So, hey, Kevin, good to see you. But also is random brain activity. It's called an activation synthesis. This view proposes that dreams are just the mind's attempt to make sense of random, spontaneous neuronal activity that occurs during sleep. I don't know. That's very possible. I that could be. I mean, I don't know. And then you got the Freud view. Sigmund Freud famously hypothesized that dreams represent disguised fulfillments of repressed desires and unconscious thoughts. That's Sigmund Freud talking there. While we spend roughly 2 hours dreaming each night, experts continue, here's the major word on this, experts continue to debate the precise function, acknowledging that dreaming may serve multiple purposes at once. And I will say that again. While we spend roughly 2 hours dreaming each night, experts continue to debate the precise function, acknowledging that dreaming may serve multiple purposes at once. And that's possible. That's Sigmund Freud. So, I mean, he was a smart dude from what I read about. But no one will ever know. And that's why getting a dream expert on will kind of help settle this out. I'm sure there are many, many, many tests or many experiments that have been done on dreaming. Now, can dreaming cause sleep apnea? Who knows? But I look at it like this for me. When I don't get an answer in my dreams that I seek, one day I will. One day it will manifest itself. And then you look back when the thing happens, you look back and say, okay, so this was what my dream was all about. And then you'll get your answers. Just like in the real world, a lot of us go out and we seek answers. We seek answers, but we don't always get the answers. Not just yet, but they definitely do come whenever we're ready to accept, whenever we're ready to accept the results of that dream. I don't know. I would like to share a dream with you that I had a long time ago, and then I'll find something out about deja vu, which I think is crazy, and I have experienced that. The dream I want to share to you about is kind of sad, and it was kind of. Denise says, I don't want to bore you. I could talk about dreaming all day. I am a lucid dreamer and remember dreams 3 to 4 nights a week. Most repeat things from the day, but there are dreams that are different. Thank you, Denise. Thank you for that. You don't bore me. Come on. Ah, you're good. You're my friend. But I remember when my son was born. Kevin says the full moon coming, so things manifested growing into fruition. Random thought. It's a nice random thought. That is right. There is a full moon tomorrow. Yeah, is it called the pink moon or something like that? I don't know. But I know whenever a full moon comes around, man, all hell hits the fan for me. But this dream, my son was young, and me and my wife at the time, we were having a really bad marriage. Cindy Mitch says, I definitely enjoy figuring out the meanings of my dreams. Pink moon. Cool. Maybe we'll do a show on pink moons. I don't know, the color moons. But this dream, me and my wife at the time were having a real hard marriage. And my son was born. And so for 4 days straight, I had this dream. I dreamed that I drove my mother-in-law, my wife, and my son to the airport because they were going down to Florida to visit her sister. And this is a vivid, lucrative. And so as we pulled up to the terminal, a guy jumps out of a van, shoots my mother-in-law, shoots my wife, and I see this person shoot my son, who was still in the baby carrier. I saw that 4 nights in a row. And I'm thinking, what the hell? What the hell was this all about? And it bothered me tremendously. And so thank God at the time I was working, with the psychic fairs. And I had a friend, Dolly. She interpreted dreams. And I brought that dream up to her because it was really bugging me, man. It was bothering the shit out of me. And she said, here's what's happening. ACL. Me and my wife, and Dolly didn't know a damn thing about, my marriage situation. And she said to me, Sean, what you're dreaming is that with the gunshot, with everybody getting shot and dying, that whatever relationship that you are in, whatever relationship you're in will end. And with me seeing my mother-in-law, my wife, and my son get killed, I would never see them again. And a year later, me and my wife divorced. So, yeah, it was terrible. But that's like really the only dream that I really, really remember that was significant to me. Another dream I had recently was I was, I don't know who I was with, but I saw me laying on the table, not laying on the table, with my head down. And I'm saying, what the hell, what the hell am I seeing here? I see myself with my head down on the table in a diner. And I walked over, and as I'm talking to you, this is how clear it was. As I was talking to you, like now, I was shot in the head. I was dead. I actually saw myself dead in a diner. And I'm like, what the hell? That scared the shit out of me, man. Scared the hell out of me. And then I come to find out the old me was leaving. I was going through a transformation. All my old stuff was back, was going away. So I guess when I saw myself laying dead on, like that, I guess I had that transformation. And honestly, right hand up there, okay, my life began to change for the better. Joe says, back in 1994, when I was married, I dreamt my wife and I were in a huge church that started crumbling with us on the second level. Looking at our pearl at the church fell apart. We were divorced by 1999 due to her infidelity. Wow. Wow, Joe. And Denise says, oh, that's like the death tarot card. Yeah, the death card. It's funny that you say that, Denise, that the death card in the tarot is not a bad card. The death tarot card means rebirth. And and it was crazy because after I saw myself, it was plain as day, looking at myself in that diner, dead. I don't know, but I do know now that my life began to change. But the one that really bothered me the most was the one about my wife, my mother-in-law, and my son being killed by a guy with a shotgun. And come to find out a year later, me and her got a divorce. Deja vu is the intense, brief, and often unsettling feeling that a new situation or experience has already been lived or seen before, literally meaning already seen in French. This experience occurs in over 97% of people, often triggered by stress, fatigue, or minor neural timing errors in memory recognition. Meaning it's a brief false sense of memory, familiarity, when experiencing a new situation. It's a brief false sense of memory, familiarity when experiencing a new situation. Walking into a new cafe and feeling certain you have sat at that specific table despite never being there. Having a conversation and feeling convinced that you have heard these exact words before. The experience is often described as a feeling of familiarity in a new place. Paramnesia, it's a memory distortion, false recognition. Precognition, sometimes interpreted as this. Experts attribute to factors like neurological misfiring, where the brain's recognition system activates without the associated memory or temporary cognitive processing delays. Kevin says, I always said it's like predicting the future a split second before it happened. Ain't that the truth? So, as I was reading this through the I also looked at what's the glitch, if I can find it. Um, okay, here it is. Um, so I read that up that there was a glitch in your memory, okay, or whatever it was, where deja vu is a glitch, where the brain briefly misfiles a new experience as a memory, typically caused by a temporal lobe neural mismatch. That's science there. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. It occurs when the brain's familiarity detection system fires erroneously, often triggered by fatigue, stress, or a new scene resembling a past memory. Dual processing. Sensory input may travel two pathways simultaneously. A slight delay in one pathway causes the brain to process the information twice, making the second instant feel like a memory. Oh, wow. These are brain glitch theories. The split attention. If you're not fully focused on your surroundings, the brain might switch off, temporarily causing a delay registration that feels like a flashback and you're finally paying attention. Kevin says, like brain fast forwards and rewinds. Yeah, yep, that's true. There's my brother, Patrick. Good to see you, buddy. It seems like I was already here. Yeah, definitely. In a hologram theory, a new scene shares a similar layout or composition with a stored memory, triggering an overall feeling of familiarity, even if the specific details are different. Here's one. The hippo, the hippocampus. Yeah, the hippocampus misfire. The temporal lobe, particularly the hippocampus, which manages memory, may have a brief electrical mishap, similar to a tiny seizure that falsely flags a new moment as already seen. Okay. Well, I know this was an hour. Hope I could have gone another hour on this show. I hope people got some kind of um, thing about dreaming. I will get a dream expert on when the time comes, hopefully sooner than later. I want to thank my friend Lisa for like bringing this up, and who knows what's going to happen next Sunday? I don't know. But here we go, Joe. I'm going to pull the card, my friend. Right? The campus for hippos. Trust me, I don't know, man. I don't know about that, buddy. But Joe, I'm going to pull a card now. So everybody knows that I pull one card. And this card, this guide, this medicine card, hopefully the animal will help you through your week. Okay. So you ready, Joe? Okay. So I shuffled them, cut them one more time. Then I come up with the card. It's the raccoon, Joe. And Joe's going to look up the spiritual meaning of the raccoon. Hawk pulled for me tonight, Kevin. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll have to look that up. But I thank you for doing that, Kevin. Now, for everybody, the raccoon came up. And Joe Fox is going to find a spiritual meaning behind that. So to me, the raccoon is like a bandit. And he's out there trying to find and steal information in order for him to actually like get ahead. Maybe he's trying to. Okay, here it is. The raccoon is a spirit animal symbolizing transformation, resourcefulness, and adaptability. It encourages you to embrace your creativity, set healthy boundaries, and be your authentic self, while also reminding you to protect your resources and help others without fostering dependency. Thank you, Joe. Heidi says, I saw a couple raccoons the other night. It's been a year or so since they've been by. But real quick on the raccoon story, honestly, real quick. One night I went out to South Park, meditated. When I came out of my meditation, there was a mother raccoon with like 3 or 4 of her babies looking at me. So, so that's my deal with the raccoons. I want to thank everybody for coming in and listening to the show. Again, I want to thank Lisa for giving us the topic for tonight. Children, if you can, please go to your parents, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And parents, please go to your children, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. And if you have no parents and if you have no children, find somebody, give them a hug, and tell them that you love them. Because those 3 words, I love you, go a long way. And on that note, don't forget, C.L. Thomas, the Gateway Podcast, is right on after mine here. And her guest is Dawn Yazzie. So good night, everybody, and please always remember, protect the children. I will see you next Sunday.